This is Shawn Irwin, your youth director with Darts Ontario, and welcome to episode 31 of Darts Ontario Let's Talk Darts. I wanted to talk to our youth players from past and present to see how they got into darts and their story to help inspire youth dart players of today. Thank you to our sponsor, SSS Canada, for all their support in the Darts Ontario organization. Go to their Facebook page to see the high-quality custom dart shirts which you can order for your team or individually. Tonight, I'm with Steve Warnock, formerly of the Welland Youth Dart League and 1998 Senior Male Provincials Champion. Thank you so much, Steve, for coming on to do one of these episodes. And we're going to talk a little bit about your history so the dart world can get to know more about Steve Warnock. So how you doing tonight?
Oh, not too bad. I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm doing great. Keeping busy with the interviews, which is good. There's a lack of darts these days. So tell me, how did you get started playing darts and how old were you?
Well, memory serves me right. My father got me into the game probably I'd say I was probably in between 10, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly when, but I was fairly young.
Now, when did you actually start playing darts competitively and joining a league?
I played in a couple leagues, but I started taking it seriously in, I'm going to say probably 96, 97, about 97. Yeah, 97. I think it was 97, yeah.
Well, that's going back a while now. So
Yeah.
Tell us your experience about playing in a youth league and what that meant to you playing in a league.
Oh, man, playing in the youth league, it was fun. You know, you get to meet people from all over, different cities, different provinces. Like, you know, when you go away and you meet the team and stuff, you get to meet a lot of people. Not just kids, you know, adults. You get to meet everybody. You know, it helps. It helps in so many ways joining the youth league. You know, like communication skills, your math skills, just your people skills in general, because you're around people all the time. You guys put to talk to them, right? So.
It's not the typical sport that a lot of youth are playing, but I will say the cost is definitely a lot less than a lot of other sports.
Oh, it's cheaper than hockey.
That's for sure. So how often did you practice as a youth during the season, and did you practice during the off season?
Yeah, I practiced off and on throughout the whole year. I know when I was a youth, man, I was practicing every day. When I get home from school, I get on the board, get called up for dinner, go back down on the board till, 9, 10, 11 o'clock at night some nights, till I got kicked off the board. And I did that for years and years and years and years.
I know what that's all about, that's for sure. So how did you make practicing fun? Because practicing is never fun as a real game, but what did you do to make it fun?
Yeah, it's hard to get into any kind of fun grooves, I guess you could say, by yourself. It's always hard by yourself. I'm not going to say it gets boring, but the interest factor, you kind of lose it sometimes because it's just so monotonous. You're just throwing your darts at the board. If you don't have a game plan on your practice routines, then it will get kind of boring for yourself. I used to play a lot of 121. That's pretty much the key game for anybody who learns your outs, your counting, learns the game basically playing 121. Played 170, I practiced cricket, practiced 501, practiced with my brother, my dad, because my dad got me into it. So we used to practice a lot. So make it fun whatever way you can.
Yeah, for sure. It's nice to have some opponents, either family or friends.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how did you prepare yourself before a big match and getting yourself focused?
Each round, you play your round, win that round, you got 20, 30 minutes sometimes before your next round. So you just go and you stay focused. You keep practicing. Like you said, you play the 121 or try and keep your double sharp, because that's what's winning your games, right? The 180s help, but they don't win your games. So I just go off to the side like a lot of players, you go do your own thing and try and mentally get your mind set for the next match, right? It's one game at a time. That's all it is.
Definitely some good advice. And what advice would you give the youth when they're standing at that line and they know they're playing one of the top players? And sometimes we know the youth get a little discouraged playing the top player, or when that top player shoots a 140, 180. How do you stay focused and concentrate on your game?
Oh man, even now it's still hard. All I could say is, you know what, you play the board, not the opponent, because the opponent could shoot 140s, 180s, 100s all the way down. Take them 12 darts to get to a double, but they may struggle on their double and miss the double, and you can stay steady on your scores coming down and you hit your double right away, you're going to win. That's why doubles are key, right? Because it's never over till that double's hit.
Well, I'm sure you've been on both sides of that fence.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what's the best part of competing for you, and what's the best thing about darts?
Oh man, I just like being around everybody. You know, you meet so many people along the ways, different you go to the tournaments and the provincials and even the leagues, and when you get older, you know, all the people you meet when you're younger, they're still around playing, and it's nice to see them when you go away to these other tournaments and stuff. And because you may only see them once or twice a year, and you know, they're all great people. Everybody's in the game to have a good time and play fun, and you know, yeah, obviously everybody wants to win, right? So
Well, we see that with the youth. Some of them only meet once a year, but we're having more and more youth tournaments for the youth to go out and participate. Of course, not this year, but in the last year, it's been great.
yeah, absolutely. It's nice to see that more and more people are jumping on board and letting the youth play in the bigger tournaments, and even running separate function tournaments, sanctioned tournaments for these kids, right? A lot of the stuff that is for the youth now is, man, I wish it was when I was a youth, because all we really had was provincials. And there was the odd, you know, blind draw we got to go play in with the adults around in our local leagues and bars and stuff. But if we had all the stuff the kids had now back then, sky's the limit, you know?
What a difference it would have been, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So, now, after a good performance, the match is over. What's the one thing you like to do?
Depends if I win or lose, right?
A good performance, say you win.
You know what? After coming off a win, you know, you're feeling good. The adrenaline's going. You're ready for the next one. But, you know, sometimes you can't just rush into your next match. Sometimes, you know, you need to take a break, go to the washroom, get a drink of water, you know, throw a couple darts, settle your nerves and your emotions back down, bring it back down to, you know, a nice plateau there. And before you get all, so if you go into something, your adrenaline's racing, you're going to start pushing your darts, throwing your darts a little bit different than you would if you're just nice and relaxed.
Well, let's
so
look
it's always nice to take a little break.
Yeah, you got to take a break. So definitely some good advice there, and don't rush. And sometimes some dart players throw very fast, and you've got to just play your own game.
Yeah, you can get caught up in the moment real quick. And before you know it, the game's over because you got caught up in their rhythm. And that's the thing. You got to play your game. Don't play the opponent's. If the opponent's a fast shooter and you're not a fast shooter, just don't worry about hurrying up to get done so he can shoot because he's a fast shooter. You know, just play your game. You're playing the board. You're playing your game. You're not playing his game, right? So
exactly. So let's look at some of your results as a youth player. In 1998, you made stage for the first time in senior male singles, and you won the Ontario Championship over Luke Van Guten. Take us back to that final day of provincials leading up to the finals and winning it all.
Oh, man. Remember that far back, huh?
22 years ago.
Yeah, it's a long time. You know, I do remember the year before was my first year competing at 17 years old. I can still remember that year because it was my first big provincial championships I ever went to. And it was at Lulu's in Kitchener. And never played in a scenario in a situation like that. I ended up in top 32, and then I was happy. I placed, right? So I went home and I practiced. Like I said, every day, hours and hours and hours, because I wanted to better myself for the following year. So then in '98, I was playing with the likes of at the time Mike Seitz, Justin Hanna, Jason Henniger, Aaron Johnson, all those guys, all really great dart players at the time, right? And just seeing the track record of Mike Seitzma and Justin Hanna themselves at that back in that time was amazing to watch because they own darts in their age group, and then to end up beating them and getting on stage I'm gonna say it felt really good, you know, and the time and the practice pays off, and the result. I got the result I wanted, which was the win. So, but it's a lot of hard work. Yeah.
It was, and a lot of competition at that level for sure. So
Oh yeah.
nationals that year was I can never say it right. Saint Hyacinthe, Quebec.
St. Hyacinthe, Quebec. Yeah.
This was your only youth nationals, but tell us about that experience as you finished
Yep.
top 4 in senior male doubles and the overall time you had at nationals.
From what I remember, it was a blast. My chaperone was Jason Henniger, which he just turned 19 the year, so he didn't play, right? So he was a chaperone for me, which I hung around with him a lot. Stayed in the hotel. I remember we had a water fight in the elevators. We just got along with everybody. I met a lot of great people, and it was fun all around. Just a great time.
So many youth, that's their ultimate goal, of course, is to get to nationals. And there's so many players in Ontario. It's such a hard thing to do with only 2 making it from each.
That's the hardest thing. Yeah, it's not like the adults where 8 go. It's just 2, and you got to get on that stage. That's the main thing. If you can get on that stage, you're good.
So, any other success or memories in youth darts you care to share?
Oh man. I remember playing in an adult tournament. I believe it was called the Steel City Open. It was in Hamilton, and it was a real big one back in the day, along the sides of the Motor City Open and all those other great tournaments. But I played doubles with Justin Hanna, and I think we played. Oh, I want to say Dan Olson. I think it was Dan Olson, his partner. I don't remember who he played with, but it was tied, and then in the last leg, Justin Hanna won 158 and ended up taking it up. And here we are, 2 youth players plugging along. I think we ended up going like top 16 or top 8 at the time. So
Great.
That was one of my favorite youth accomplishments outside of the provincials, I guess, because there wasn't a lot of tournaments that we could play in back in the day. No.
So moving on to the next, you have 1 child playing in the youth league right now. How's that experience watching your own compete?
Oh man, it's great. He's come a long way. His mind's not 100% there, but it's getting there, and he's improved tenfold since he started. I love watching him. I'm there. Don't even bring my darts. I just come and I chalk all his matches I can, and I'm always watching, and just to be on the other side of the table per se, I guess, right? Like, because I'm always the one usually playing all the time. To sit back and just watch somebody else play, it's great. I love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Well, he's come a long way in the last year. Was really improved from the year before. So look forward to see him. And within the Niagara Youth Dart League, a lot of great competition. And as we know, 3 of the members from that league made Team Ontario this year.
Yes, they did. Yeah, and they've all been putting in a lot of time, well deserved. And my hat's off to those 3 kids. Yeah. It's unfortunate they didn't get to experience the nationals this year. It's a heartbreaker, but hey, it's a situation we're in, right?
I was really hoping to bring them to Nova Scotia with us and see what
absolutely.
The leaders have done a great job over the years, and we'll just hopefully it continues on. So moving into the adult program, tell us about the transition from youth to adults.
Oh man, it's like night and day. Now, if you were a youth and you're one of the better players in the youth at the time, and then you jump up into the adult and you start playing, man, it's an eye opener because so many adults are all really good, and there's no room for error as a kid. But the main thing is you can never give up, never get discouraged. And I tell the kids all the time, you will get better. You put the time in, and before you know it, you're going to be one of those people that everybody's going to be. Not, you make a name for yourself and people fear you on the board, kind of, right? And it's the main mentality of some players. The better that a player gets, when that player's, you pull a top ranked player in a tournament, it's like, oh man, I got to play this guy. So sometimes you already win before the match even starts.
Yeah. Now
So
in 2013, you made it back to nationals, this time as an adult, and you finished top 4 in Ontario. Tell us
yeah.
about the provincials and making the team for the first time as an adult.
Oh man, it was awesome. From when I was a youth going into the adults, oh man, it took me like, what was it? What'd you say, 2008 or 10?
2013.
2013. So yeah, that was, whew, man, 13 years before I made the team. It was a struggle. And for me to finally, break the ice and get on it, it was like a big relief, big weight lifted off my shoulders. And I think when I made the team the first time, I kind of, in my mind, I let go. You know what I mean? And well, my game elevated even more because I accomplished something I was trying so hard and so hard and so hard to get to. And the harder you try for something, sometimes you make it harder to accomplish it because you're trying so hard to do it. But I learned to relax. I've done it once, I could do it again, right? So I don't know. Making it the first time was great. Never forget it. I still got my 2 shirts from that year. Usually I trade 1 or 2 of them away, but I've kept, those were the first 2 that I kept. So I still have my youth shirt from 98 from the youth.
Well, we'll have to see you wear that next year, okay?
It doesn't fit.
Next up was 2015 and 2019. You made Team Ontario again with top 4
Yep.
in Ontario. Anything you can remember about those 2 provincials making the top 4 again?
Top 4. You know what? That was 2 years ago, I think, right?
Yeah,
I ended up playing Ross Snook in the semifinals, and Ross Snook took out a 170 to beat me to go into the finals. And I remember that year I played the Easter Open singles, and I lost in the finals to Jimmy Long. And I'm like, I was playing really well that year, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna repeat what I did with Jimmy. Hopefully, me and Jimmy can be in the finals again for the provincial championships. That'd be great. It'd be like a rematch. But Ross got the best of me that day, and hey,
yeah.
yeah.
But you made the team, and that's the main thing. And
Yes.
at your first nationals as an adult, you went to St. John's, Newfoundland. You finished 6th in the country. Great finish for your first nationals. Take us. I shouldn't say finish 6th. It was. What did you finish in that year? Wouldn't have been 6.
It was top 8. It was a top 8. I ended up top 8, but I also had to play off for the World Master spot. So I was 1 spot away because they took the top 5 players at nationals for the World Masters. So I had to play in that and ended up getting 6.
That's what it was.
Not the 5th spot. Yeah, 1 spot away. Yeah.
Oh, there you only took the 5. So, but you did amazing,
Yeah.
that's for sure. And
yeah, it was great. First time I think I ever got to play a fellow named Kylie Emmons from Nova Scotia was in St. John's, Newfoundland, and I ended up beating him in the top 16 to get into the top 8. First time I ever met him, played him, and ever since then we've been great friends. And you meet a lot of people. No matter how many times you see him throughout the year, as soon as you see him the next time, it's always great. It's like a long lost relative, kind of, right?
just pick up right where you left off. And
absolutely, yeah.
Friends, not just over the province, but you go to nationals, you're meeting people all over the country. And
right.
In 2015, it was held in St. Catharines. You were back and you finished top 8 in men's doubles with the Canadian legend, I'll have to say, Bob Seneve. Bob is likely the most popular Canadian dart player in history. But
absolutely.
How was that experience playing with Bob and the overall experience?
That was amazing. It was almost like a dream come true because growing up, I looked up to guys like Bob Seneve, and Bob came back and played the provincials, made the team alongside of 8 of us that were there. And we go to our team meeting that we have at the nationals, and they tell us who we're playing with and who we're playing with in the mixed doubles and all that mumbo jumbo, right? So I'm sitting there just waiting to hear my name, who I'm playing with, and they said I was playing with Bob. And I'm like, whoa, get out of here. Freaking almost like a dream come. Never, ever played an event with Bob, and I was so excited. But at the same time, I was really nervous because I didn't want to let him down, right? Because Bob was like an idol growing up, right? So, but we played real well. I ended up rooming with Bob that year too in St. Catharines too, right? So we had a lot of chit chats and some eye-opening scenarios and stuff too. He helped, open some new avenues for the game. Let's say,
Yeah. Well,
just
I'm hoping
with advice.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
hoping we can have Bob on one of our episodes here. He may not have played youth darts, but I think that would be a great guest having on our show. So we'll see.
Oh, absolutely.
So in 2019, you went to Saskatoon and you finished top 4 in mixed doubles with your partner, Kim Whaley-Hiltz. Tell us about the highlights of your nationals in 2019.
Oh man. There was a lot of good memories from that one because I played with Kim. Like I said, Kim was another person growing up. Kim was a really great player, and I got to have the opportunity to play with Kim. I didn't play so good at the beginning. I was really nervous. Like I said, playing with Kim, I didn't want to let her down. She's an amazing dart player. She kept carrying my butt, and we had a couple big matches that we won. A couple close calls. Few matches against Team Ontario, the 2 provincial players, Bailey and Jimmy Long. We ended up beating those 2 out. That's always hard playing somebody else from your team too, right? But another one was I was in the washroom and I came out and they were calling the 50-50, and I ended up winning the 50 at nationals. It was like $680 or something like that. So it was great. I was having a great time that year, and that's the same year that Jimmy Long went to the World. And he had a lot of flights and traveling and back to even play at the national championship. So we greeted him when he showed up, big little kind of celebration, which was really cool, man. Jimmy's a stand-up guy, right? There's nothing to do but, congratulate him for a job well overseas, right? Representing us all over there.
Yeah, he's done amazing representing Canada, that's for sure. So who are some of your...
absolutely.
Have you had any sponsors at all as a youth player or even as an adult?
As a youth, sponsorship-wise, not that I can recall ever having a sponsorship when I was a youth player, other than, my dad giving me money to go play.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's one. As an adult, I've had some numerous sponsors over the years. Venom Darts. I think that was Stu Brown. He was helping me out a little bit here and there. I had the Soft Tip Bar that was in Toronto. I was sponsored by Target Us, by the iDarts bar there. I was sponsored by a local electrical company that I worked for growing up, Lakes Electric. Till this day, he still helps me out, which is awesome. Current sponsors is the Cosmo Darts, Fit Flight, SSS Canada, and Hartzell Auto and Marine are my main backers right now.
It's great to be recognized like that, and you've done amazing and well deserved. So now with COVID now, there's not much dart leagues happening, but the online dart world is really progressing. And how is your experience playing online darts?
You know what? Yeah, I think it's fun. You get to play people, like I said, from all over the world, right? And you get to keep in contact with people that are all over Canada, the U.S., and all over the world. That you meet people from all over, from all the events, and it's just nice to play against them and keep in touch. And it's the new norm right now. Like, I know I run a singles league and I run a tournament, and all got kiboshed because of COVID, which sucks. But I enjoy it. Like I said, it keeps us going, keeps the darts flowing, right? So,
well, we're always learning and improving in everything we do in life. And what's the one thing you need to improve on in the game of darts to get you to the next step?
Oh man, I got to hit my doubles.
Isn't it?
Yeah, it's frustrating. I gotta frustrated easy, and it's hard once you get frustrated to actually back away from it and kind of regroup. So I'm always working on the mental part of it. I'm not saying I've perfected it or nothing, because I haven't.
No.
Still, you're always working on the game. It's a never-ending learning process. So, and it's all about you got to relax yourself. You take your deep breath, you go up to the line. You got to be calm, right? Never try and force your darts you're throwing. Do as I say, not as I do, right? But it's harder sometimes to do it.
Yeah, for sure. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you have a favorite opponent you like to play against at this time?
A favorite opponent I like to play.
It's a hard question.
It is, because there's a lot of great players out there that I love playing against. Like I love playing against like guys like Ross Snook, Jimmy Long, Matt Campbell. I play a lot with against Sean Brenneman. I practice in person with Bruce Davey a lot. We haven't done a lot because of the COVID, but before we used to get together once a week all the time and play. I look forward to playing guys like the Adam Stellas, the Kylie Emmons, even the guys in the States every now and then. I haven't played a lot against Leonard Gates, but I've played him a few times. I practiced a few times with him too, and every different player will push you in a different way.
And playing players at that caliber and better is really going to help improve your game for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And I like every now and then I'll throw the games with some of the players online, named Braden and Trey, and played Trey a couple times. I played Braden a few times, and yeah.
Well, I really appreciate your support in playing the youth players. They really look up to you and the adults. So, taking your time and playing them, it's great. So, and make sure you don't give them the game.
No, I never would.
That's good.
Beat them to the ground, because that's what happened to me. You want a game, you earn it, right?
So as we wrap this up, just one more question. Any advice you can give the youth to, follow the success and getting to nationals and being part of the team?
Oh, it's all about what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. If you want it that bad, you're going to put the time in. Practice your doubles, stay focused. Don't get caught up in the mumbo jumbos with, like as a kid getting a sponsor, it's great. It's awesome. But sometimes it can make you feel a little pressured now that you have a sponsor and trying too hard, and just got to relax and keep a level head, right? And it's always about, respecting your opponent, give them the handshakes before and after. You don't have to talk to them during the match. That's not what it's for. You're there to play a game, right? But, as long as you got the manners and for before and after the game, and don't be a poor sport kind of thing. Just be yourself, right? Have fun. Enjoy the game for what it is.
Yeah, well, it's all about sportsmanship. Yeah. That's what we strive for. And
sportsmanship is key. Yeah.
Well, I really appreciate you doing this, Steve, and wish you all the best in your goals. And hopefully we see you at some tournaments and, of course, the provincials next year.
Look forward to it.
Thank you. You have a great night.
Thank you, sir. You too.
That was great talking to Steve Warnock. Lots of great history of darts with youth and adults. And we didn't touch on twice that he went to the World Masters, had some great results playing over there in England. So if you're ever talking to him, make sure you ask him how that experience was. Make sure you go to our website at www.dartsontario.ca to find out all the information about our organization. And go to the Darts Ontario Facebook page and hit like so you get all the updates. Are you a current or former youth player in the Darts Ontario program? Would you like to be on one of our episodes? Please email me at youth@dartsontario.com. This is Shawn Irwin, your Darts Ontario Youth Director, and make sure you check out our next interview on episode 32 of Darts Ontario Let's Talk Darts. Thanks for watching and see you next time.